At the age of 65, Anne and I discovered that our children had acquired a 190-acre bit of land which had been either used for set-aside or raped for wheat. The infrastructure of the farm had gone. No gates, ditches not working, no water supplies to fields. The place was a shambles. And of course, Anne and I were not as young as we had been. And in any case, our experience of farming was, in my case, limited to being a young farmer for a few weeks at age 14. And in Anne's case, to being the daughter of a father with 3 sons who did not believe that women could actually do what men could do. In the first years, what was important was to establish some kind of structure. And it coincided with Mr. Blair's decision to allow Polish young people to come to this country in large numbers. As a result, we found ourselves taking on board 2 undergraduate Poles, and who were happy to work for us with the view to earning enough money for the next year of their university life. They came and stayed with us until they'd got their PhDs, and of course became almost part of the family. We heard of woofing, but never bothered to take it seriously for a variety of reasons, not least the fact that it looked to be a total gamble, since one had such little control over the person you were agreeing to have join you. By chance, a young woman from Hungary who had been working on a nearby farm had reached the point of such disgust with her living conditions that she was looking to go back to Hungary. She came to stay with us for a week and actually stayed 3 months. And she was our first woofer, and we learnt a lot, she learnt a lot, and we came to understand how well the whole thing could work if the right person came. One of the issues with woofing is not merely inability to have proper discussions before they come, especially under the Data Protection Act, but also the fact that woofers need attention, they need looking after, they need managing, they need care, concern, and of course, this is a working farm. It's not a hobby farm, it's a working farm. And primarily, at least nowadays, a stock farm, cattle and sheep, and these are things that are quite demanding for woofers to cope with. In the early days, we made clear that we were particularly interested in taking young people who were interested in improving their English, not least because, from our point of view, this was an opportunity to learn a great deal about other countries, particularly countries behind the Iron Curtain, and because A, donkeys years ago I had taught English as a foreign language, B, I like young people, and C, I like my language and I like sharing its difficulties. We thereafter had a run of up to 4 woofers at a time. We never took more than 4, and until COVID, the woofers would have lunch every day with us, very often join me in the afternoon to watch Test match cricket, and left feeling as though they were part of the family. COVID disrupted everything, and we have only just started again taking the occasional woofer. We started with an American girl, and after her, the brother of somebody who came and stayed with us 5 years ago. For woofers, the attraction is actually quite wide. We are an organic, biodynamic farm. We farm in a way that is is uncommon and not particularly economically sound, but we are driven by values rather than finance. This, of course, is pure chance, but given the opportunity. And they come because they want to learn more about England and they want to learn to improve their English. What is important for us is to make sure they have plenty of opportunity to speak English, to listen to English, to hear all the different accents of the people in this part of the world, to be able to ask questions, to be willing to answer questions. Talking to a woofer who came to us from Chile, well, what does the average Englishman know about Chile? We are a family farm though, which is a huge bonus because our grandchildren live on site and there is an atmosphere. I said it is a working farm, but that does not mean to say it is not a very human place. We care for each other, we look after each other, we do our best to make sure that everybody who stays here feels they're part of us. Over the years, we must have had 30, 40 woofers. Of that number, I think 3, perhaps, it did not work totally. By and large, most of the woofers we get come from the countryside, and they're accustomed to working. They're accustomed to using their initiative. They are almost invariably educated to university level. So our only failures, if that's the right word, were taking a couple of city Italians who had no idea what life on a farm was actually, and a young English lady who, faced with the raw realities of nature, found life less than comfortable. The simple truth is that unless you have spent time on a farm, you really have no idea of nature's indifference to you. You see every aspect of life, and even though you may have large numbers of animals, you respect them because that's part of the code of behavior on this farm, is that we respect ourselves, we respect each other, and we respect the animals. And I would like to think that we project an image of the world which is perhaps not commonly found these days. I don't suggest that I believe in doing everything by the past. You cannot be a farmer these days without being a scientist. An advantage I had was that, having once been a high-level bureaucrat, I was better able to deal with the government and the idiocies of DEFRA. But farming is not just about pouring fertilizers and herbicides onto the ground. It's not just by treating animals as products. It's about making the world a microcosm of how you would like the whole world to be.